Okay, this is our crowdfunding project for Finance 4200. I'm Zach.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Ethan.
So for our project, we decided on our crowdfunding project to choose a company called Power. They make solar panels and try to provide clean energy worldwide. So a little bit about the background of the project is that they try to solve challenges facing America. So Power wants to provide sustainable and clean energy to individuals and the planet. They have installed over 32,000 solar systems across America, and by doing that, they've combined saved a combined 48 million on utility bills for customers and have stopped 3 billion pounds of carbon emissions entering the atmosphere. So the viability of the product, Power recently implemented a enterprise installer program, which is a big growth opportunity as this program allows power solar panels to be installed by local and regional contractors, which makes up 65% of the market. So this will allow the installation of solar panels to grow rapidly. Um, and then that also signifies decades of growth ahead. Uh, the residential solar and storage market in America is currently has an expected compound annual growth rate between 15 and 19% until 2023, or I mean until 2030. So that shows kind of like a steady growth into the future. And then alongside that, Power is working to consolidate their market share. They want to differentiate themselves from other competitors. So when that market does continue to grow and takes a big boom, uh, they'll be able to kind of establish themselves as one of the top solar panel providers. The longevity of the product. Uh, Power has done a lot navigating macro challenges in the recent years. So, for example, there was a recent change in net meter policies, uh, mainly in California and Texas. This caused 4 of the 10 leading solar panel providers to go bankrupt. Power, however, innovated their product and finished with a current ratio of 2.3 and a working capital ratio of 1.6, as you can see to the right. So they've done a good job kind of navigating the change in net meter policies. And then the rapidly increasing interest rates that we've seen over the years. At the end of 2022, 97% of solar systems Power sold were financed through consumer loans. These had insanely high Fed rates, which caused a sudden reversal in demand. However, Power managed to overcome that obstacle, which was shown within their financial statements. And then continuing on the Fed rates, even with the Fed rates being really high, Power still managed to achieve a sales growth of 33% in quarter 3 of this year. And more surprisingly, California actually led that charge, as even with the new meter policies I previously mentioned, they illustrate the idea that consumers are fed up with insanely high utility bill rates and are looking more for a more cost-friendly option, which leads them to Power in their solar panels.
All right, so a little about the market of the product. The market's still in its early stages, and there's a high growing demand for renewable energy in the residential sector. There's been an increase in home installations due to the rising energy costs and environmental concerns. The market's currently between a 17 to $20 billion annual revenue opportunity, with an annual growth rate expected between 15 to 19% until 2030. And we've also seen sales grow 93% quarter on quarter while at peak interest rates in California, which is where Power is based out of. And then moving on to the team behind Power, Jonathan Budd is the founder and CEO. He founded Power in 2014 and has led over 32,000 completed installations. And he's also been recognized as an Inc. 5000 company the last 4 years. Ethan Miller is the COO, and he has over 20 years of experience leading solar companies. He was also instrumental in achieving the #1 residential solar market share in the US with Sunrun. Sunrun's the #1 home solar power company. And then just to add on to that, the chief marketing, technology, and financial officers all have over 20 years of experience in the energy sector. So our investment philosophy is to just invest now. We believe the market's ripe and there are plenty of growth opportunities. And we believe power is here to stay because of the fast growing demand for renewable energy and because of their way to differentiate. Power uses a network-based model which keep their costs very low and they focus on sustainability and affordability for customers.
Alrighty, so upon doing my research for finding kind of crowdfunding projects that were funny or just random, kind of just not the best, this was one of the ones I found. It was a on-the-go toothbrush device. It was made out of silicone and simply just you can see it in the image there, had a bunch of silicone bristles. And when I was doing my research on the this one was a Kickstarter campaign, the cost per unit was $9, which is I guess pretty cheap. I don't know, maybe not. I haven't bought a toothbrush in a while. I usually just use the ones I get from the dentist when I go. And but a little more details about this Kickstarter. It had 246 backers and they raised about just over $8,000. So it wasn't like a single individual trying to get money to manufacture something out of the garage. I mean, I'd imagine it was some small kind of company that just wanted to develop some sort of product that I don't know, people would just buy, maybe sort of impulsively is the word I'm looking for. But it was designed, I guess, mainly for travel and portability reasons. Um, you can see there. I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't really use this. I didn't understand when I was like doing research on this particular crowdfunding a product because I really was just like, why can't you just use a normal toothbrush? I don't know. I don't know if there's any rules or something where you go. I mean, it's like a 1 inch by 1 inch thing. I guess it's smaller, but for me, a toothbrush I think would suffice for the same thing. So that's kind of where I put why wouldn't a normal toothbrush work. So I thought it was just a little bit of a cash grab, like, hey, this is some cool little thing that we made. Buy our product. But yeah, so those were my thoughts on that. And the next slide here, this one was just funny. I mainly want to put it in here. This one was obviously more just like an individual or maybe just like a couple people that sold goat milk hand soap, or I guess just bars of soap. Um, I wasn't particularly hand soap. I guess it was just goat milk soap. So it launched in 2015. This one was also a Kickstarter campaign. It was based out in North Carolina. And this one was a lot smaller. They had a goal of $500 and they raised 640. So I guess, they met their goal and then some, had a total of 27 backers. And the plan for this Kickstarter, the people running this campaign wanted to kind of get their product to a retail level. I didn't know what all that's really all they said. I'm like $500. I don't know what exactly your plan is. Maybe just to not start bare bones with getting your soap to retail, or at least maybe getting like packaging for it or something. Um, and one thing I was just I had a question about this project was is there a market for goat milk soap? I wouldn't think so. I've never used it. I've never seen anything from a commercial basis, but I guess I mean there were some people that partook in the campaign, so um, yeah, and there must be some people out there that like to use goat milk products. And for the last slide, I wanted to add this in here because this is someone I used to watch a long time ago. YouTuber iDubbbz made a lot of videos called Kickstarter Crap. It was essentially kind of just a review of this second half of this presentation. He would take a product on Kickstarter and he would basically make a whole, I don't know, like 10, 15-minute long video doing research into, the functionality of the product and what the campaign was really about, how much money they wanted to raise and everything. So it was a very kind of like opinionated based I don't know what you call it, commentary about these Kickstarter campaigns. But oftentimes they were products that were either just completely stupid or someone just wanted to raise money for I don't know themselves, like the individual, and they had like some sort of story for raising money for them. So there were some interesting videos on there. I put a link in the presentation if you anyone wanted to check that out. So but yeah, that's all I had.